everyone, it's Kelly with kellyscards.ca and welcome to this fourth card in my everyday card kit number 12. I picked out a more vintagey style card with this type of Paris purse in here. Really like this die cut here of this kind of gear clock. And we're going to use a doily here and a few other accents. So to get started, you would benefit really well if you had some of this vintage photo or another brown ink. And again, with all vintage cards, we're just going to ink around the edges here. And by inking around the edges, this is just going to help add a little bit of that aged look. And I just find that it just kind of enhances the card. I really like how the papers look being inked all the way around the edges. And we'll just keep going here to get this piece done. And then once your big piece is done, then you can ink up your two other little pieces. I've got this cute little paper clip here, and we'll just ink around that. And then of course this piece as well, our main image. And I like to add more ink around the edges and then kind of blend in so that it's not too hard a line on the outside of the image. And it just kind of helps it blend a little bit better together. So we'll get that out of the way now. And we can put a few pieces together just to help us organize this card a little better. We'll start out with our little paper clip here. We'll get this put up onto the little mat. And we'll get that centered, and we'll do that as well to this image. And then we can kind of move things around as we want. And we'll add that. You can ink also the doily. You're just going to want to put your hands in behind it to just protect it so it won't tear. And just go right off of the edge like this. This is just going to help this piece stand out a little bit better. I just love the textures that doilies give, and it really fits with that vintage theme. So now we've got our pieces and we can start putting them together. And this doily isn't really going to stand out because it's so close to the other color of the paper, but I like that tone in there and that texture feel. So let's put this one on first, and I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive there and stick it right into the middle here. I just love using doilies on cards. And then to add some interest, once we layer all of this up, everything's going to go kind of like this. In this bottom corner, I'm going to add 3 black brads. And I like adding brads because, again, they add another element to your card. And I love to add even more black elements when you have a card like this. But I also like that it's an actual physical thing rather than just drawing dots. And it's not too blingy like bling is. So brads work really good on vintage cards. Now I'm going to take my little pad here. Now if you don't have this, you can just grab something to poke through your paper, even if you just use the edge of your scissors and go in. And you could even use a ruler and line up your ruler, say at the edge, and then just punch along. But what we're going to do is we're going to do 3 holes, and we're going to put it at the bottom corner and work our way up. I'm just going to start by lining this up so this is nice and straight so that my holes will be nice and straight. Now that I've got it all nice and straight, I am going to do 1 brad here, and then I'm going to move 2 holes down and do another hole there, and then again move 2 holes down and do another hole, and then they'll be all nice and even. And then you can just thread those brads right through the paper. Actually, maybe we will close one at a time just for ease putting this together. Sometimes if we do too much at a time, it gets a little bit too crazy there, but just love this vintage paper with the writing. And I'll just put the last one in here. And there we go. I really like how the brads look, just adds another element to the cards. And for now, we will put this piece on. Since we are done building upon it, we can put it now on the card base. I like to use this Be Creative tape, especially right over those brads. Just makes it that they won't move and shift. Now I can just pull these backings off here and bring the card base in. And before I put it down, I just like to take another look, and I'm just going to tuck these little edges of my adhesive underneath in behind there. And there, that looks good. So now we have a few more of our elements here. We've got this die cut, and then of course this image plus our little paper clip. And I love this layering method. You can still see the die cut in behind, but it's not sticking out that your card will be plain. If I were to put this down, that would look great and everything, but I love the layered look. So feel free to move things around to see maybe where you'd like it in a different corner. And being that this clock, that this is the top of the clock, it's probably best to leave this sitting this way and just move your pieces around. So you could have it like that. In the centered might look okay, or if you want to see more of the clock, you can have it down like this. Either way, I think looks pretty good. But first things is we're going to have to put this down. So I'm going to bring this scrap piece of paper in and grab my multi-matte medium glue again. And I'm going to start just dabbing the glue onto the various spots. And then we will put this down, and then we'll be able to work out where we're going to put our items. And I like doing this on this spare back piece of paper, and I can make as much of a mess as I want, and I don't have to worry about it too much. Whereas if I was working on my work surface, I probably wouldn't be dabbing quite as, I guess, crazily as I am now. But this just helps to be able to get all of this glue. It's looking good on there, and I'm going to peel this up now and get this out of the way, and we can put this down. So again, I want it on an angle so that the 12 o'clock is nice and straight up like that. And I'm just going to take my hands and I'm going to make sure all of those little spots are going down. Now this one does seem to be coming up, so I'm just going to lift it up again and just dab a little bit of glue there. If I get a little bit too much, which I do have a little bit oozing out here, I'm just going to pull that away with my little tool. And I'm going to hold this down just for a couple seconds here, just to ensure that nothing's going to stick up and accidentally get torn off. And look at that, just this alone looks so spectacular. Really, really like this die cut. It is just a beautiful die cut. And now that that's down there, we can bring in our images and just kind of move them around to see where we'd like them. I really like how I have it now, and what I'm going to include is the two pieces of foam that I have in behind these images. So to attach this piece to the foam, you can just run the adhesive on the back here and just center that so none of the foam is sticking out. And this is going to give us this raised look. Really like that a lot. So we're going to put this one down first, and then we're going to have to play a little bit around with the other one. And again, I really like how that looked just coming off of there a little bit sideways. So I've got this down here now, and then you will see this little half circle, and you're going to want to put it on the other side of your paper clip. And I'll just show you this here. So if your paper clip is like this, we just want it on the side half, and then we are going to butt this up to match up with this height there. I'm just going to add some tape to the foam section, and then up here, because it's going to snug up, and we just want to hit it right, the foam here, right into this other piece so it's as close as it can possibly be. And then we can just put that down nice like that. And I really like how that looks because you're going to see quite a bit of dimension off there, and I think it will add a lot of interest to this card. So that will finish off the outside of the card. We will put our piece on the inside now. And we'll get this piece put in like this. And this will finish up this card. Really like this card. These vintagey cards are really a nice card. These make great birthday cards, so many occasion cards. If you wanted to put a sentiment on this card, you could put it down here or up there as well. And you could also add it to the inside of the card. So again, really great paper. And these little images like these paper clips and stuff like that, really cute. Anything on the sewing theme too looks really great with a vintage card. I hope you enjoyed this card. There's one card left. Again, the playlist is in the description down below. You can check me out on my website at kellyscards.ca and subscribe for more videos. And I hope everyone has a wonderful day.